I expected to have the best weekend of my life. And would I compete again? As some of you know, I competed at National American Miss Florida just a few weeks ago, this past July, and I'm gonna walk through everything. Why I decided to compete, how I felt going into it, the expectations I had, what actually happened, the competitions itself, and kind of just a recap of my entire experience and if I'll compete again. All right, enough dilly-dallying. Let's get into it. Just a little bit of background. This was my 4th state pageant with National American Miss. I've competed at the national level once. I decided to compete again to bring my platform to life. I founded the Elegance Unlock, which is confidence and presence training for students and future leaders. I do this through workshops and one-on-one coaching, but recently I've expanded to help in a more nonprofit sector. So helping those who are maybe unhoused or want to get themselves up on their feet, giving them encouragement in different ways, just hearing people's stories and providing both inner development and tangible support to those who need it most.
Whether seeking inner development or tangible support, I want every person to have the opportunity to thrive.
And that's why I wanted to compete again, to further bring this idea to life, to expand, to partner with organizations, because truthfully, pageantry gives you that platform. It truly helps you accelerate to that next level faster than you normally would by yourself. And really, I competed for myself too, to grow in my own confidence and my own speaking skills, interpersonal skills, the way I present myself, because all of these things are important for obtaining opportunity. I always get asked the question, what does it look like prepping for a pageant? The first thing that probably comes to mind is intense workout regimes, maybe walking in a straight line with books on your head like in the movies. I'd say most of the prep came from developing my own platform. Formal wear, personal introduction, interview, and community service are the 4 required contests in this competition, along with the optionals that I competed in, which was top model and casual wear. All of those things I have been drilling. I started my deep diving prep about 2 to 3 months prior to the pageant. One of the required contests that I drilled the most was my personal introduction. This is essentially where you give an opening 30-second statement about yourself, who you are, name and hometown, and some fun facts.
I am first a child of God, faith-based business owner, and multi-passionate leader.
And for me, when I memorize a speech or a presentation, I love to give myself a solid 2 months to fully memorize it, be super confident in presenting it. However, this time, I decided to change my personal introduction about 3 days before the pageant. You can imagine how that went. I memorized it all in literally 3 days, but I could have done a much better job at presentation and being confident in what I had to say had I kept my intro the same. You might be wondering, why did I change the introduction 3 days before the pageant? I felt like my old introduction didn't fully encapsulate everything about me, and I figured that out too late. Note to self and note to everyone out there in the pageant world, really lock in on your personal introduction, whether it be an opening statement or a speech of any kind, way ahead of time, and make sure that is solidified and that it totally represents you and you're confident and comfortable with it. Because for me, this time that wasn't the case, which is why I was a little hesitant on stage and not as confident as I normally am. Prepping for the pageant also looked like getting sponsorships, right? Sponsors can be quite a tough thing to obtain nowadays in this economy. I don't really blame businesses, but I was able to host a Cookies for Confidence bake sale twice within the time leading up to the pageant, and I raised over $400 on selling cookies alone. So that was pretty cool. Shout out to all of my sponsors and businesses who supported me. What did I expect going into the pageant? I expected to have the best weekend of my life. I expected to meet a lot of new people, make a lot of new friends, and I'm confident to say that I did just that. It was amazing. Everyone is so supportive, contrary to popular belief and pageant pop culture and what the media promotes. Pageantry is full of these beautiful, independent, strong, intelligent women who have a dream and they go after it. I love being surrounded by ambitious women and having that support system there. I'll just be so honest for a second and say that I also expected to have 3 queens be crowned Miss Florida, since that's what they did in previous years. They had a Central, South, and North Miss Florida. But come to find out, when I show up at pageant weekend, they were only crowning 1 Miss Florida. So that did change my expectations quite a bit. It is what it is. So getting to the hotel, checking in, all that jazz, I hate it, I'll be honest. I had gotten an email from the Hyatt Regency Orlando a few days before I checked in, saying that through this link, I can get a very discounted price on my suite that I wanted, and they ended up bumping up the price later without telling me, so that was dumb. I'm still a little salty about it, but it's fine. At least I had a suite. Customer service was excellent when I got there. It was a pretty smooth check-in process as far as actually being at the hotel, but everything before that was a little chaos. I did purchase a suite for my after party that was the end of pageant weekend, because I decided to invite all of my friends and family to support me at the pageant finale, where they get to watch the crowning and awards. All right, the competition itself. My personal favorite required competition is the interview portion. I love that one-on-one time you get to spend with each of the judges to clearly present who you are, your mission, what you believe in, and how you can contribute your gifts and talents to the organization. I naturally love connecting with people one-on-one anyway, so having an interview format is probably my favorite part. I already talked about personal introduction quite a bit, so there's that. It was okay. I think I did way better at formal wear this year than I have ever in the past. I wanted to be able to float on the stage like they normally say. I had a big red poofy dress that kind of looked like Cinderella's dress, and that's why I loved it so much. But something I regret doing at formal wear is wearing my hair straight. I look at the footage and the clips and things like that, and I question my choices. I guess I felt a little rushed during pageant weekend and opted to straightening my hair. I felt peer pressured because some people tell me that I look better with straight hair versus how I normally style my hair. That's something. I was kind of like, yeah, you live and you learn. And as far as optional contests, I participated in casual wear and top model this year. My 2 favorite optional contests. Let's just say I spent a lot of time curating my casual wear outfit. I really wanted a retro traveler girl vibe for this one, so I wore a red vintage trench dress with a matching belt, black platform heels, a black and white scarf that covered my head, very retro style. I had a red lip, of course, and some black cat-eye sunglasses. I also went out of my way to find a red suitcase from Facebook Marketplace, and I literally drove like 45 minutes to pick up the suitcase. It was only like 20 bucks and it was so worth it. But yeah, it went perfectly with my outfit. I just had to. And for the top model contest, it's super fun being able to show off your style, show off your poses, and get to keep all the photos they took from that. I'd say my favorite moment from the National American Miss pageant was after a rehearsal. My friends and I got together and just practiced. We practiced our formal wear walk, we practiced our casual wear routines, and we gave each other some last minute pointers and feedback. So it was really nice to have that time with my friends and just being there for each other. Not sure we were supposed to stay in the room that long after the rehearsal, but the room kind of cleared and we were like, the stage is right there, we may as well practice. That's probably my favorite moment from pageant weekend. If there's one thing I learned at the pageant, it is to really focus on your platform and your why. And would I compete again? The answer is yes. I am absolutely looking forward to next summer at National American Miss Florida State. It gives me a lot of time to prep, to get things together. Sponsorships, I need to spend a lot more time on sponsorships than I did this past pageant. And just being prepared overall, I think, is best. And what's next? A lot. I recently started volunteering at Samaritan Resource Center here in Central Florida. And at the center, I distribute food, I listen to people's stories, and just talk to them. If there's something in my faith, it's that I try to be a light in everyone's lives and help them in any way they need it. And through my volunteering, I was able to partner with my first nonprofit, leading confidence and presence training workshops. Stay tuned for that. That's coming the end of this month. Focus is currently on expanding, partnering with organizations, and finishing school, which is finally almost done. I'm almost finished with my bachelor's in marketing. I'm going up to New Hampshire this winter, so maybe I'll get some snowy grad photos. Who knows? I'm really excited. If you stayed till the end of this video, first of all, thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this recap of National American Miss and my pageant journey. Long form videos on YouTube is something I want to start doing consistently, so that's also part of my next chapter. I finally get to say it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and click that like and subscribe button.